Joe Biden forcing good credit borrowers to pay for bad credit borrowers. What people are missing, though, this is what they are missing. Rules for radicals calls for continual chaos and division to affect change. Biden is forcing credit-worthy people to pay for those who can't. This is a stunning admission into the plans laid out for us. Making individuals poor by squeezing the middle class and poor are a great side benefit of making people with good credit pay for those with bad credit. No one asked to do these things, and it is clearly incentivizing people to give up on the system. One of the many ways you are incentivized to give up on the system. What happens when that happens? Well, the government, the state, has more control. This forces you to ask yourself, regarding who is implementing this, wouldn't someone with all those degrees, these smart people, these elected leaders, wouldn't they know that's the obvious outcome? And if they know that, then why do they continue to do it? It's the old pick your poison. Are you evil or are you too stupid? Neither answer is correct, so choose carefully. The answer is they want polarization, division, and hate. End of story. We have a clash of logic versus emotion. This is why most people have a very hard time understanding things. One side of the country is using logic, and the other side of the country is using emotion. It's the age-old human debate. The Democrat Party has been taken over by the global class, the global cabal, the one world government class. We have documented this a lot here and have shown hundreds of books and videos. The evidence of this fact, again, many times have shown you all the literature. I have Klaus Schwab's books at home. The Great Narrative, The Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Communist Manifesto, The Naked Communist, Guns, Germs, and Steel, and Collapse by Jared Diamond. Go in and look at these things. Do your own homework. Trust but verify. DYOR. The global one world government crew want you at each other's throats so that they can have people lash out and then say, aha, told you these people were crazy. Now we're taking more of your freedoms away and institute more emergency measures to centralize even more power. The other insidious fact is that more people are arguing with each other. The more people that are arguing with each other and hating their neighbor, the less likely they are to understand the truth and be aware of the game being played on them by those at the top. It's a simple fact. Simple math equation. 2 + 2 = 4. The more people are distracted with the Roman Colosseum and bread and circus and fantasy sports, and this is why the lockdowns, they realized they had to get sports started back up very quickly because they realized people were revolting, literally in the streets revolting. If you remember, all the cities burning, boom, all of a sudden in the next few months we had sports started back up. They're empty. Stadiums are empty. The Roman Colosseum was empty. But boy, do we have a way to pipe your eyeballs in there and see what was going on so we could sit you back in your chairs at home nice and comfy and you don't lash out at the state. Because it was the state, mind you, that put everyone and welded them into their homes all across the world. The global cabal. Now ask yourself, Brandon, come on, there's not a one world government. And I get that there's 1,000 books you just shared and you talk about all the time, and the videos and all the documentaries and all blah, blah, blah. Well, come on. Well, I would point you at why were there 100 countries who have the same Build Back Better slogan from the World Economic Forum, from the Club of Rome acolytes, from the One World Government crew. Why do they all do the same thing? Why do they all lock down? Never been done in history. Why do they all at the same time choose to, we're going to lock everyone in their homes. We're going to weld everyone in their homes. Can you explain that? Can you even one iota give a shred of evidence the other direction of, well, it's just a massive coincidence? Remember, the CIA, the beautiful, beautiful intelligence community we have here in America has trained us. Well, if you're looking in the right places, they don't train you in school, government runs schools, but we do not disregard coincidence. That's one time. We don't disregard coincidence. The other insidious fact is that the more people are arguing with each other and hating their neighbors, the less likely they are to understand. Just read that. Be aware of what's going on, right? We are called the useless eaters. And this is in the Conspirators' Hierarchy. It's in a couple books, but the Conspirators' Hierarchy talks about this a lot. The useless eaters that need to be called. They need to be put out to pasture, at the very least, fully controlled. Their words, not mine. If you see something, say something. Any of these posters ring a bell for you? This is a world we are in. This is the hero. Now you get into AI and what's going on here. Look out below. Training you. These moves by the Biden regime are training people to take on more interest, just at a basic financial literacy level. We have none of it here in America. Again, another unbelievable admission as to the guilt, the signal, and the noise. Why is there no financial literacy? Why aren't we learning any of those things? Why aren't we learning basic concepts in bookkeeping and accounting? Interesting. Almost like they don't want you to know it. How come all the common sense daily things we need to know we aren't taught in school? How come we're learning how to dissect frogs when they're in second grade, but we're not learning basic accounting and bookkeeping and how to budget? Almost like an agenda. When you go to government-run schools, you're going to learn what the state wants you to learn. Again, simple math equation. The moves by this regime are, again, training people to take on more interest, become loose with debt, and therefore become poor. Oops, now they can't afford anything. Now you can't afford anything at all. You will own nothing and be happy. Klaus Schwab, chairman of the World Economic Forum. We've documented this many, many times. Again, these are from their mouths. Remember, these are trial balloons. Many of these things that are thrown out, they get shoved into bills later on that no one reads if it doesn't pass now. Rile people up and desensitize them, see how the public reacts. Then put into later bills broken up if the backlash is too spicy up front. Like clockwork. It's done all the time. Rahm Emanuel never let a good crisis go to waste. One of Obama's good friends and one of his campaign managers, especially, we're going to talking about Obama as one of his campaign managers, architect of Obamacare coming up. The average person, they know the average person is too lazy to care or figure it out. Like the Obamacare architect, Jonathan Gruber, admitted below. Check this 2-minute video out of him literally saying the American voter is too stupid to understand, and political lack of transparency is a great political tool. And they knew they had to just cram Obamacare through and just get it done because the American voter is too stupid. They never do anything about it or understand the bill, and they wouldn't look into it afterward anyway. If you remember, this is what started Occupy Wall Street, the Tea Party protest, everything. And life changed. Life went from a more of a liberty-minded capitalist free market system to the TARP bailouts and Obamacare. Those turned us into a true socialist state on the way to communism. This one world government. That's what communism is. It's the manifestation of one world government, which is beyond communism, I guess. That's the whole globe doing it. But it's controlled at the top, trying to get every state to become that communist organization. That way they can be together. So anyway, I'm digressing too much. But again, if those at the top give you just enough breadcrumbs, they know you won't revolt. Like we talked about before with the Roman Colosseum. If you turn the games back on, everyone's going to stay home. But if you turn the games back on, everyone just sits back and says, you know what, it's not that bad. I got a nice lazy boy here and I got a 75-inch TV, so I'm good. Yeah, I'm totally fine. Oh, you closed down half of all the mom and pop shops? Meijer's is still open now. Kroger's still open. Safeway's still open, right? I'm okay. You destroyed half the small businesses. That's all right. Some predictions I have made. So I'm going to digress here a little bit. But again, I want to state these again. Student debt will not be paid while Democrats remain in power, which might sound like a great time, which will further impoverish our future selves and our children by causing much higher prices, by causing much higher inflation, much higher prices going forward. Someone has to pay for these things, whether it's through war, bloodshed, or prices. Someone will have to pay somehow. Just newsflash for everyone here. The CBDC, central bank digital currency, is a side benefit. They want chaos, division, polarization, and hate, which is all a distraction campaign. Central bank digital currency is just part of that, and the thing that will help them do that, and they will get through all of this. People will not be kicked out of their homes or foreclosed on. The pressure will be too high. The feds will come in with a digital spy wallet, not Bitcoin, because they cannot control Bitcoin, and offer you payment in this, and offer you payment for your house and extra cash if you just download their Fed app, their spy wallet. That's all you got to do. You get a bunch of extra cash. They'll buy your home from you. You don't have to default on it. You don't have to be kicked out of your home and embarrassed and all these things. There's no accountability, no responsibility. All you got to do is just give up all the rest of your sovereignty and all the rest of your personal freedom and privacy. That's it. Remember, as Ben Franklin said, those who wish to gain a little more security for their freedom deserve none and shall have neither. Low interest rates, the last one, low interest rates are back, and even bad credit loans. So this is back, and it will become back even more to a higher degree. This is, again, the admission of that. Similar to ninja loans, no income, no asset loans, and this will lead to housing crisis as well. But this is a funnel to control more, as I laid out in the bullet point above. We have talked about and documented this slide into collectivism almost daily for 20 years, with seemingly no avail. Seemingly. We slide further and further into despair and chaos as less and less people seem to care what is truly happening. We have too good of a life to stand up and rattle some cages and tell the government, you work at the behest of us, period. You work at our consent. It says it right in our founding documents. But yet again, how come we're not taught that in school? I feel like we've said this, almost a half dozen times? Why are we not taught these basic principles in nature's law and our rights in school? Because they don't want you to know. I'm going to answer the question finally now that we're at the end. They don't want you to know. That is the signal in the noise. Guys, this is not a coincidence. No need to put in any more work. None. Our ancestors, we got our freedom. We don't have to fight for it anymore. We think we can have our cake and eat it too. Not to mention when people try to make a change, we don't even know if that's possible because there isn't one person in America that can tell you if the election system is fair or not. Not one person. There's not one person in the entire world that can tell you if the election system is fair. Good luck. We have a choice between ease and credibility. As Americans, we constantly choose ease in our daily life and the way we treat our bodies or our neighbors or family, and it shows in our election process. It shows in how we treat each other. It shows in the systems we want. It shows in the crypto space, right? Ease versus credibility. Bitcoin is credibility. But many people choose ease. They choose crypto. They choose proof of stake. They choose to sit on their laurels. Bitcoin is proof of work. You must put in the work. You must earn it daily. You must show up and show out. That's the difference. Bitcoin or slavery. That's the choice we have going forward. Bitcoin removes the power of the purse from all these people. It rips it all away. And the power goes back in your hands. What choice do we want to make? This is a disease. This ease versus credibility that's haunting us and will lead us over the cliff into a pit of despair where the state owns and runs everything in your life. You are just a cog in the system to be used for your energy, Anon. Here's Bob Proctor, his drawing of the mind and the body. It's phenomenal. Please read this, study this. It'll start to change how you operate your entire life and run your family. Don't be distracted by the games that media, politicians, governments, and academia plays with you. Bob Proctor made his life about understanding how humans work and gave us 90 years and just died a year ago. Spent his entire life on how the brain functions. We have 6 higher faculties that unfortunately we are not trained in school or anywhere for that matter on how to be used. You know where this is going. I'm going to take a wild guess in the dark and say that's probably not an accident. Perception, will, reason, imagination, intuition, and memory. We are God's highest form of creation, and we have all the answers in front of us, as my wife constantly reminds me. We do not need to work harder and harder for less and less. Expect abundance. Expect miracles. If we take a step back from the system or remove ourselves from the situation, things start to come into focus and the answers become clear. Follow the right rabbit. Stay strong. Brandon, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please share any signal you find or algorithm hates truth. This is not financial advice, it's freedom advice. Question everything in the boldness, even the existence of God himself. Please trust but verify. Go confidently and let's affect change and bring truth, freedom, prosperity, and liberty back to ourselves, our families, and to the nation, and to the world. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.